but get it correct. I know what I'm destined to be. Young, black, educated, and beautiful. And I got news for you. I'm not willing to jump through hula hoops to be approved by you. Years from now, they'll find you in the gossip column under Who Got News. And me, they'll find I'm the college graduate in the school I choose.
High school student Deja Underwood represents the hope of Chicago. Young, smart, and working towards success. But there are obstacles that she and her peers must face while growing up in a city that's getting national attention due to violence. In 2014, over 200 people have already been murdered in Chicago. Chicago continues to get negative press due to violence, but there are many in the community who are working for change.
It's not that violence isn't happening in Chicago, but the root of it is kind of what's not being put on the forefront. We're looking at symptoms of a more systemic problem that's going on in Chicago. Chicago is very political, and the way that the city is constructed is made to lead to disempowerment, is made to lead to a hyper-segregated place where you can have the far north side looking vastly different from the south and west sides. And so when we see on the TV screens that Chicago and Chirac and the violence and all this and all that, that can be true, but it's incomplete, right? Because what we're not talking about is economic injustice. What we're not talking about is the lack of health care and mental health facilities, the lack of a trauma center on the south side, like so many social institutions that black folks need in order to be empowered, in order to function at the level of our counterparts who we're constantly being compared to in terms of violence. What's not being talked about is the disparity between us and the dominant population in terms of access.
A culture. Within Chicago, you have two primary gang fractions. You have the People's Nation and the Folks Nation. And if you grow up in a certain neighborhood or sometimes in a particular family, you're automatically affiliated with one of those nations, whether you want to or not. Generational gang membership is oftentimes really difficult, but one of the things that we found over time is most people don't necessarily want that type of lifestyle. Like asking young people, regardless of their family background, what are you interested in doing once you get older? They rarely say, I want to run the gang, or I want to grow up in the gang, or I want to shoot someone.
I grew up in Inglewood. It was all around me. My classmates didn't have a whole lot of relatives involved, but the older people that I actually looked up to, they were there. I had an older cousin introduced me to selling drugs, and I was mentored by a lot of the older guys, so they gave me advice and knowledge about being gangster. So I took their advice and I took it seriously. I wound up realizing that a lot of those guys were actually all talk. They were more do as I say, not as I do. Because when I had certain issues and certain problems, I found out that certain things and situations that I just had to handle by myself.
Okay. Clifton Booney McFowler was the founder of the Cicero Vice Lords gang. After serving 27 years in prison, he became a community activist with Build Inc. He discusses how Austin is one of the most violent sections of Chicago.
We're in the Austin area, and we have the most highest rate. It's six communities in Illinois that make up 65% of the prison population in Illinois. And Austin is one of the highest rate any given time where you have people that's on parole, but yet no resources for the brothers and sisters when they come home. So that, and my fight is that I want to be able to at least show them that it's some hope, man. That you don't have to do the things that I did. These for the younger brothers and the older brothers too, because I don't close my hand to a brother because he an older brother. I don't believe that you can't, how old they is, there ain't no hope for me. I believe there's hope for everybody because it was hope for me. You know, after 27 years in prison, who would have thought that I would be able to come out, get a job, working with kids and at-risk youth and helping my community.
On July 4th weekend, 82 people were shot in Chicago. Dr. Rise of Build Inc. discusses how crime increases in the city during the summer months.
It gets warm outside, you have more people out. You have a lot of issues in terms of territorial issues happening. And on that particular weekend, things just completely got out of hand. And I think in addition to that, it's also how things are often captured by the media. Like if we have shootings and deaths at that rate at any time, it's not okay. But I think the national attention has definitely been driven by the media, and that particular weekend shouldn't be treated differently from any other day or any other weekend. The issue with violence, and especially youth violence, and the tragedies that have occurred should receive attention, period. And we have to do something about it.
Chicago is going through despair, but is looking forward to hope. I'm Amir Shaw, and this is Inside Rolling Out.